the starry sea, with a batlet held tight with glee. Hunt OPC, his battle cry. Stars and moons light up the sky. OPC hunt, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight, community our guiding light. Battling communists with cheer, reduces courage, knows no fear. With every clash and mighty roar, victory's prize forevermore. OPC hunt, OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight, community our guiding light. Battle anchor does soar, reducing its heart and core. Galactic winds, they lead our course, unity our driving force. Our driving force. OPC hunts OPC, through the cosmos wild and free. Romulans and foes we fight, community our guiding light.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope y'all are having a great day. It's an absolutely great day. Is it a great day? I mean, it's a great day to me because I'm with y'all. And it's been a rough morning, so hopefully today's going to get better. We're going to have several conversations today. We'll talk briefly over the Exocomp not getting addressed by Scopely, just random Exocomps going out to everybody, making sure that you have the Exocomp building. It was Exocomp key number 1, not key number 2. Which is technically not real yet, as in this is always been a placeholder, but could it be time? Could it be happening? Exocomp update happening? I mean, I could be in possession of Exocomp update. I don't know. Who knows? Very careful since I'm so close to have already losing. What you learn during an NDA and after NDA, it's a bloody line, muddy line. Gotta be careful with that. But we'll tell you that things happen for reasons. Put it that way. Things happen for reasons. But either way, regardless of reason, you know what needs to happen? Communication. Communication needs to happen. That'd probably be a really good thing to have. But good day, everybody. Welcome in. Good to see you, Kenny, Jay, Zolatan, Kagal, Tular, Jay Friedel, Tony Lopez, the Possum from my neck of the woods. Pedro, good to see you as well. We always love Pedro. Stefan. Greetings from Ambassador Steve, server 104. Means that we're getting ready for 71 Plus. Hey, G7 is coming out, but hey, there's also updates to a lot of things coming out this month. And I'm gonna be honest with you, there's a lot of good coming this month, and then a whole lot of grinding. Oh man, is there a lot of grinding coming? Woo! You ain't never seen a grind like this. Oh, my Lanta. But don't worry, I'm still going to be here. This Rev's not going to have struggle for content in July, let me tell you. Not going to have a struggle for content in July. So let's get all the things sorted. Let everybody come on in. But like I said, we're going to talk about incursions briefly. Incursions are happening here tomorrow. We've also got the upcoming art next week. And then I also want to do player account reviews because y'all been enjoying it so much. I enjoy it as well, where we'll try to briefly go over people's accounts here. And if y'all want to do that in more detail, you can contact me privately, but try to do that. I'm also going to get the incursions pairings here pulled up for those who aren't aware who you're pairing with. Who we're pairing with. James, can't answer that question. Server 84 says hello. Getting ready for incursions. Love the grind. If you love grinding, this is going to be one of your favorite months ever. I'm just saying. If you love grinding, you're going to love this month. Yeah. Oh. See, I love the Wrath of Khan content. but the events were awful. This is going to be the inverse. I'm going to really dislike the content and maybe like the events. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Granted, I don't have it here before me, but having talked to folks, yep, I did not say G7 is coming in July, RV. I literally did not say that. I quite literally did not say that. Everybody trying to put words in Rev's mouth. But while we're sitting here, how about we put the incursions on the wall? How about we do that? That's useful. Get the incursions information out there for all the people out there in STFC land. Q-snap. There you go. There you go. Welcome in, Dark Ginger. Good to see you. Good to see you. Wake up to raid invite thinking it was incursions. It was not today. Got a few teas. Well, hey, if you got some good raiding in, that's helping your alliance, because hopefully you'll have better shield discipline than that player does. Thus, your server will perform better in incursions because you raided. Big, strong man, strong woman, strong whatever out there raiding. Hopefully. Hopefully. So, we're going to be able to punch up, or will it be difficult grinding like exiles? Hey, I just want to really re-emphasize this point. Exiles aren't difficult if you are strong for your level. If you don't rush, you're not running around like tier 4 ships. They're not hard. But, as I've said before, every new hostile, every new thing, whether it be an armada, a hostile, and this is not new, this is how it's always been, will always be difficult unless you are strong for your level. Like, people get confused because they'll look at like, oh, this level 60 hostile, I do easy. Why can I not beat this one? Because that level 60 hostile was made 4 years ago. It's not the same. It isn't built on ISO and Apex and crazy MIT stats and all this other stuff. So, new content will always be difficult for that level if you are not strong for the level, which is why I emphasize so strongly about being strong for your level. It's not just Rev wanting you to camp. It's, hey, I know the content's going to come. It's going to be difficult unless you're prepared for it. And that's part of the design because remember, it's difficult. You're tempted to pay to make it less difficult. So, does the help bug bother anyone else or just my OCD? Stuck on 6 helps on the screen. I am not stuck on my helps, as in they do close out, and then when more helps come, I click them. If you do have it where it's truly stuck and it's not going away, you're gonna need to put in a ticket. Though the easiest option would be to do the whole clear your cache thing, but that's also understandably annoying. Understandably annoying. But yeah, completely get where you're coming from there. But as far as pairings, we'll make sure everybody knows their pairings if you didn't already. So we've got the US, I'm gonna roll it down here for the EU and the APAC guys and gals. So here's our numbers. Now for me, 710, we're going to get 709 again. Server 20 going to get server 29 again. But if you're out there, we'll make sure everybody knows their pairings. And as far as the date and time, remember, this is all happening. All of you, all of us, July 3rd. Everybody, one day, one incursion day, everybody goes ham together. So if you haven't been already, pay attention to that, check that, etc., etc. And there you go. So there are incursions. Boom. Finito with that. Unless we have questions. Yeah, didn't we just have that 2 incursions ago? We did. We did indeed. So, we did indeed. Jay says, easy remedy for difficult hostiles research. Agreed. 100% agreed. 100% agreed. Look, the real thing is, you look at the recent style of what STFC releases. They're trying to take advantage of noobs like Noon Whistle. Oh, hey, Noon Whistle, didn't see you there. And release things because they want people to level up. If you have not paid attention, like even the transition screens say, hey, the best way to get stronger is to up your ops level. And say it in ridiculous voices like that. That's how it works in my brain. And then they'll release like, oh, is it hard? I'm so sorry. Maybe you need a godsend. Maybe you need a temporal conduit. That'll help make it better. Maybe you need the Genesis device for those tough Borg polygons. Nope. Nope, you just need to have your ships leveled and your research caught up. You don't need any of those things. But they're going to do it because then they're like, oh, we can sell you this and it's only $50. So, hey, pay attention. And I'm not saying you're in the wrong for purchasing those items. I'm just wanting to make sure everybody understands why things happen like they do. And if you say, hey, I get that, and you still want to go after it, 100% okay. Like, not going to shame you at all for that. I just want people to understand why, the methodology of the game, right? Things are difficult for a reason. for a reason. Moose. Speaking of whales, we've got a moose here. How's that work? Don't ask, don't tell. Good to see you, Moose. Always a pleasure. Afito says, does the Borg nanoplating FT work against Borg Type 3 armadas? Nope. Nope. Good to see you, though. JG, welcome in. Bartman said G7 is coming, and you know what else is coming this month? I think the else is what's throwing them. I mean, that's like a different sentence. Put it this way, y'all. Has G7 ever rolled out? Has G7 ever rolled out in the summer? As in like G6, G5, G4. It always rolls out into Q3, Q4, right? Right? There's a reason for that. Because when they roll those things out, there's so much included. It takes a lot of time. Now, am I telling you that they've got a lot of G7 stuff done? Oh yeah, they do. Or am I telling you that there's a plan for G7? 100%. Am I telling you that there's even maybe content and ships coming out to prep you for G7? Oh ho, you whales, get ready. But that doesn't mean I'm saying it's coming out in July. In fact, I will go ahead and tell you, it's not coming out in July. But is it on the horizon? Can we see it? We can see it. We can see it. All right, Moose is the source of all problems, as YouTube don't do what Twitch does. Okay, I don't know what that means, but hey, Moose. Hey, you. You started at 3 stuck helps, then 2, now 1. Clearing cache doesn't help. iOS/iPhone here. Well, iOS/iPhone seems to have a lot of those persistent bugs. You know, it's that is the pain and hardship that you will face for being an Apple user. Mostly because this game just doesn't work well with Apple. For whatever reason, it just doesn't. It never has. Hopefully that changes one day, but I don't think today is that day. But comments, questions before we get into our player account reviews. We're going to start again with higher stuff this time around. Last week, we did G3 players. Today, we're going to do G5 and try to grab some G4s. Maybe even some G6s if you want. I did talk to a couple of G6s just this past week, helping them prepare for the future. So, kind of depends on what y'all want to gravitate towards and go after. But we're going to hit those topics today, and hopefully y'all enjoy those topics. I enjoy doing it with you. And yeah, we also do one-on-ones if y'all are interested. Success in life with Mike says Ops 42, 76 million power. 3 uncommon ships to tier 9, tri-faction locked. It's easy to play game and enjoy the game. Spaceships is now my grind, and enjoying the game is so important to have fun. I love that success. You are playing in what my opinion is one of the best ways, if not the best way to play. And I hope you continue in that route, and that way you can continue to enjoy this game that we have. I'm glad you're having fun. Where's the research you get? Pattern disruptors using research. So the pattern disruptors are gotten in the beta sector. Now, I really want to point this out real quick, and I'll show people where that's at before we get too deep into the combo, because not everybody realizes what this is. But this is dead content. So if you come into your combat tree, scroll just a bit, you'll find these Borg researches here. They're in the combat tree, aren't they? They're not in the combat tree. Is it the galaxy tree? Oh, my lantern. No, here they are, right here. They're on the combat tree. You'll be looking for this. Hey, I need pattern disruptors. Now, a couple things I want to make clear on this. Number one, this is dead content. Why is it dead content? Because you're going to see assimilated. No, that has nothing to do with the assimilated state that officers can provide. This is actually a type of hostile called assimilated hostiles, which are Borg hostiles located in a specific part of G4 space. So you can farm them there. I mean, to me, they're only good if you want to burn some mats and get some power. But this does not apply to any Borg hostiles besides the one that we're going to look at here in a second. It does not apply to the assimilated function when officers are applying it, such as Dazok or Mirror Data. This is dead content that you only need to do if you are OCD and you really just want to complete it. Now, where can you find this area? Way out here. This cube-shaped area is where you can find those items, with the beta sector paying out the most of them. That is where you can do that grind. Now, only do this grind if you are somebody who simply is controlled by your OCD and you simply got to get it done, or you want every little shred of power you can get. But it will not benefit you in any way in today's game. I just want to make sure that's well known. But if you want to go after it, you absolutely can. Who am I to say don't enjoy what you enjoy? But those are dead research, dead content, doesn't serve a purpose in today's game. But that's where you do it, right there. All right. Red says, content really won't tie to your ships. I was very strong at 56, but my ships were only tier 4, tier 7. Mop 60 now, and tier 12 epics have me hitting op 70 mirror surveys. Love that, Red Lentless. Awesome. And because the game has gotten easy, I'm so tempted to use the air quotes, but honestly it is. It is easy to max out a level 60 epic. It is easy to get your 46 rare to tier 9, tier 10. Got to do it if that's the route that you want to take. Good to see you, Lord Viper. Welcome in. 2 Lars has sent you a screenshot of a working Borg nanoprobe on 3.2s. Cool. Cool. What's the amount of players going into G6? Do you think we're going to get G6 FKR group armadas at some point? Yeah. As of this past week, still under, I think, 30,000 G6 players total and a little under 2,000 level 70s. So they're obviously trying to push people up into that area. It's a long way from it. Say that now, and then those assimilated hostiles are featured in an upcoming arc. I can tell you they're not featured in this upcoming arc, but is that possible? It is, Tibbs, because I will say this about the upcoming arc. Lots of old content getting an update. Lots of old content getting an update. Lots of old content getting an update. Yep. 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 So, update more clicks. Oh, a hell of a lot more clicks. Yes. Yes. This is, and again, I'm not trying to be negative Nancy. I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time. This is going to be of a lot of grind. How you choose to face that grind is going to be up to you. But I was talking to somebody last night about it, and it's the way that I described it was you were mixing the mirror universe with the silent universe, with the augment universe. So, yeah. Well, we'll see. Again, things can play out well. It's all about how it releases. Good day to everybody. Do you think we should get Quasi in the Con Officer Depot? I think Quasi is useful for the Apex Shred. More so in the PvE aspect. You'll notice that I have him as a below deck staple here in my main PvE run. But yeah, I do indeed. So let's back out of that. Here's what we're going to grab. Now, if y'all aren't familiar with how this process works for player account reviews, here's what we do. You must contact me on Discord, and I have to pick you. If you just send me something on Discord, I'm going to ignore it. Not because I don't care about you, but because if I just said, hey, message me on Discord, I would have dozens of DMs. Because right now, there are already, 250 amazing people here. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are nuts, and I love you and appreciate you. But if only 10% of that messages me, it's too many people. So I will pick you out of the chat. We'll try to get as many as we can today and go over rough basics, where your account is at, maybe some things that you can improve on, etc. And give you an idea of where I think you should be focusing on in terms of, hey, you're level 53. You really should be focusing on these grinds. So let's start with G5 players. That means level 51 to 60. So shout out your level, and then when I pick you, that person I choose, Discord me, and then we'll try to go through it, and then we'll try to get as many of these as we can today. Last time I was actually kind of disappointed because I felt like we only got like 3 or 4 done, and obviously there's a lot more of y'all than that. So Ryan's the first one I see. Ryan Burnett Football, 55. Shoot me a message. Tiberius, you're not a 56. Tibbs, you're not a 56. But Ryan, shoot me a message. You were number 1. Viper, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships here to the channel to support me and the kids. Gives those 5 people a fancy name, lets them everybody know that they're special. Viper, Dome, Lord Viper, Andrew, and John Bondi. Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for supporting the channel, Viper. Means a lot. So Ryan, shoot me a message. We'll go through your account. I need to know your name on the account. And yeah, we'll go from there. Waiting on Ryan to hit me. Discord message sent. Okay. Storm Shadow. All right, I'm gonna need you to copy and paste that name because I can't easily copy and paste that name into STFC.pro. You got to have all those weird things in it. What are all these markings? It's different language. Good to see you, VDF. Welcome in. But I need you to make it easy for me to pull it up on STFC.pro. Oh boy. Here, let's go ahead and they're level 55 for those in the chat curious. They just got a lot of those little, accent markers and stuff all over their thing. All right, well, that's clearly a dev account. That's not real. Oh yeah, it's server 187. So y'all can go ahead and ignore this one. Oh, look at this dev account on server 187. Isn't that amazing? Level 56 and 5.2 billion power. Well, isn't that neat? Yeah, that seems realistic. That seems super realistic. Shout out to server 187, the dev server. Slippery Santa level 55. 5.2 billion power. Okie dokie. Yep. You know what worries me though is, like, I have no issue with devs being in like live servers and doing testing, but is this what you're taking like count of? Like, is this what you're using as a baseline of like, hey, level 55 experience? Please say no. Please say no. Anyway, back to the regular folks in the game. Storm Shadow. Here's hit our re-ranking button. Type in Storm Shadow's name, and they're going to be somewhere in the top 100 because I noticed their power. So 334 at level 55. I'm going to go ahead and tell you the first thing that you need to do. You need to go to 56. What is the reason to be 55? Now, I do talk a lot about loving to be powerful at my level. The only thing is you're one level behind your next ship. Like, you're already ready. It's hard to imagine because if you're 334 million power at level 55, you've got a decently tiered uncommon. Your special ships are probably all level locked for where you're at. You very likely have maxed out your Voyager, your Fuchsia, those things. You've probably got all that done. And you're just sitting here being strong at 55. So I would say that you need to already be 56. That would be my number one critique. You should already be 56. Because if you're this strong, then you need to be pumping all that strength into your 56 ship, right? Now, there's nothing wrong if you have personal goals like Rev. I'm just speaking generally. If you are like Rev and you want to be up here, like you want to be like General Snowball, who we've talked to before, then that's fine. But I would say that strength-wise, you're ready. In terms of content that you should be focusing on, Crenum Formation Armadas and the actual Crenum entities. That way you can do your DTI loop. Given your strength, I would imagine you're good for PvP arenas if you're available to play it on Monday nights. If that's possible, you should do that. I'd be doing PvP arenas on Monday nights just so that you can get all those researches with the premium mirror dust and even some of the innovative engineering. So I will argue, as I did in my G6 checklist that I just dropped yesterday, that the innovative engineerings have almost gotten less valuable ever since they rolled out very recently, just because faction credits continue to increase, platinum continues to increase. Still good to have, but maybe not as great as they were previously. But in terms of where you're at, I mean, very strong. You just sent me a picture of your North Cut, which is 763 million because you took it to tier 9, which, again, this is what my method has been. Tier 5 is if you want to get general stuff done. Tier 7, if you want to have armadas, a little bit extra warp range. And then you take those ships in G4 to tier 9 if you want to PvP with them. So, honestly, you're good to go. My true recommendation is, if you're doing your Crenums, you're able to punch up in formations. You need to be doing your GS, G4 elites, completing those. You won't be able to do the G5 elite where you're at, but you should be able to do the G4 elite and finish it. You should be doing those pretty consistently. And honestly, those are the biggest things. You're one of those players that you're already strong. Unless you have specific questions, which you haven't sent any specific questions, my recommendation to you is go to 56. You're ready. You're ready. From the looks of the events, that's exactly what they're taking their account for experience from. Sure, maybe. Maybe. You're a wee bit behind you at 60 reps. Still a few things to do for your video. Very nice. Yeah, I've still got a few things for me to do. I got a few things for me to do. You have tier recommendations for 66. Pretty much the same thing. Slightly changed. So obviously in G6 ships, you have more than 12 tiers, right? So you go a little bit further. So we just kind of moved it up just a smidge. So it's difficult depending on what we're talking about, because it's easy to say 5, 7, 9 for like a G4, but then you get into G6. Well, what if I said 7, 9, 12? 12 gets really pricey in terms of the Sigma. The Sigma speed ups to get there in terms of tier up timing gets really annoying. But you also got your regular Sigma Tritanium costs that would probably at this point in the G6 economy be more effective to throw to, say, a 66 versus a 63. But at the same time, if you're wanting to play slower, then you need to get to like the tier 9s to update your Borg cube. So it's not as universal in G6 as it is in G4, because there are a lot of different opinions, and all those opinions to me are equally valid. If somebody says, hey, Rev, you should skip the 63 uncommon and go straight to 66, I understand from the economy of why that works. Would I do it? No, but I can't deny the logic being presented. Where I will deny the logic for people saying, hey, just skip the G4 epics. I will deny that logic vehemently. But I will not do the same for saying, yeah, if you really want to skip the 63s and just power your way up to 65/66, you can do that. It's not necessarily what I would recommend. But I can't say the logic is bad in today's economy, because the G6 economy, while drastically improving, still is not paying out high numbers of Sigma trit nor Sigma speed ups. So you have to be very picky with how you choose for those. So anyway, as far as Storm Shadow goes, I would go to 56. It's not going to change your PvP arenas that much. You're still going to do quite well. And yeah, you keep moving on. I'm very curious to see what you do at 56. Next G5 player. Throw your level down below. Then we'll get to you. Throw your level down, down, down. We're going to talk. We'll see if we can get some, hopefully, not to be mean to our friend Storm here, but hopefully somebody who's not in as a perfect a position as Storm. Because honestly, if you're around the top 50 for your level, you probably don't need Rev's help. You're just bragging. It's okay, Storm. You can brag. It's all good. All right. It's all good. Mr. Point T1, level 60. Shoot me a message on Discord real quick. We'll take a look at your account. Shoot me a message real quick, Mr. Point T1, so we can see where you're at. Now, this is a good one because, well, I don't know if it's a good one. He could be better than me, but we just put out our G6 checklist yesterday, and I talked to Tiberius about his thoughts and included some of Tiberius's videos against his will. I talked to James Bond and everything, and while there's differing opinions, I tried to take my goals and just kind of cut them down really well and just go with the bare minimum. Okay, what do you need for G6? So this will be a good test for our new friend here, Mr. Point T1, to see how close they are to those. All right, Point T1, server 72. Now drop whatever questions that you have. Drop your questions in and we'll look you up. So let's hit our, clear this out real quick, hit 60. There we go, re-rank. All right, good. Yeah, you're not in the top. Good. Now, here's what I need from you, Mr. Point. Send the questions that you have, and we'll answer them. And I'll put this back on the screen here in just a second, so I can get a couple things done. My arm still hurts from how much you twisted. Good. You deserved it. The fact that I had to twist your arm so I could show people your great content gets on my nerves. For those that don't know, Tiberius makes great content on both YouTube and Twitch. If you're not checking him out, I encourage you to. I'm not the only content creator for Star Trek Fleet Command, and multiple opinions makes you more informed. So, it says I could use some guidance on what is the most impact for me at this point, arenas and PvP improvement. Well, that's pretty easy. Yeah, as far as arenas and PvP improvement, here's the number one things you should work on as level 60, right? So for those curious where they're at, Point T1 is currently the 1,850th strongest level 60 out of 3,287. So they are in the bottom 50%. They have a ways to go. Now, that doesn't mean they're bad. It just means, what do we focus on? Well, if you specifically want to focus on PvP, the simple answer is two different things: the Terran Empire and the Augment faction. So the Terran Empire, click on over. Yeah, at your level, you might struggle to get a lot of wins. Grouping is going to matter a lot there. Now at 60, I do great in arenas, but I also worked really hard to get there. It was many months of work. I was not just suddenly good at it. But you want to get these, so you can get all those premium researches in the mirror tree. These are huge. Not necessarily having to get the mirror group. It is nice to have that as a PvP option, but this is the most important thing in that run. The favors are solid. I would say when you're running through your uncommon or your common Terran credits rather, dump those in the favors, but the rares we really want to spend on things like the premium mirror dust, and if you want the innovative engineering. So I've got the G4 and the G5 innovative engineering, but I just personally recently decided, you know what, the G6 one, not going to bother with that right now. We'll see about that in the future, but for a 20% boost for a 48,000 rare cost, we're going to focus on the research first. The other thing is the augment, because one, yeah, get the Reliant. One, you want to get the Glavin. If you have not gotten the Glavin out there, there's a reason that I consider that and things like the Nero's Trident as must-haves, right? Whether you're preparing for G6 or whether you want the PvP better, You need these things. You also want to get the quantum slipstream, which you see me working on literally right now. These are some of the most important items in the game for PvP. The Glavin is 60% ISO boost from one item. It is the largest singular item to boost ISO in the game in terms of a static run. There are technically other things that are applicable to certain scenarios, but in terms of like one item, make you better. Where is it? Oh my Lord. I am not finding what I'm looking for. Where is my, there it is. This is the singular strongest PvP item in terms of a static ISO boost in the game. The Glavin can be gotten 100% free to play through the Augment faction. Everybody at level 60 should be getting this if you have not already. It's one of the strongest paid items a year ago. It's now one of the strongest free to play items today. And to be clear, it's not just for PvP, it's for everything. Armadas, entities, hostiles, bosses, all those things. Because it's simply an isolated boost flat to every ship, 60% at max. And I just put out a video on how to get it and max it about a week ago. So in terms of being a level 60, where you're at right now, you're working on getting stronger. You're in the bottom 50%, but that's okay. We want to get those items unlocked. Simultaneously, we want to have things like this, a maxed Rotaran. If you're wanting PvP, there is not a better PvP ship, again, assuming max crews, FTs, CTs, favors, artifacts, 4 billion other things, than the Rotaran. It is king. Now, that doesn't mean the Enterprise D is bad, nor the Daredex. In fact, all three of the epics are fantastic, but you need to tier them up. How do we do that? Remember, scrapping G4 rares and G4 epics will give us all the ship parts we need for this, and then the Revenant will help top off the materials we need to take this to the next level, in conjunction, of course, with your researches for efficiency. Need. This is very important. You want a PvP, you're not running around with your Sanctus at level 60, you're using all those G4 ships, you're scrapping them, which you can scrap the epics at level 57, and then you're turning them into stuff like this, these 2 and 3 billion power behemoths that will roam around looking to destroy whatever they can find. Now, I will add there are a couple of things that you can make those a little bit stronger with, which we have going on right now, Galactic Invasions. You can use those Galactic Acclaims to pump those powers up a little bit using the whole health boost of the hull platings. Now, how far you choose to take those is up to you. As you can see, I've taken the Rotaran to 11 to 15. I'll probably stop at 12 to 15, not really sure. My goal was to get my ships to 3 billion power before I went into G6, and I've basically already accomplished that with most mine. But as I have still run into players in arenas who whoop my tail, I'm reminded that strong as I am, I'm still not strong enough. So I might continue to strengthen that up a bit before going into G6 here, probably before the end of this year. So those are probably the biggest one for PvP. Getting your quantum slipstream, getting your Glavin through that store, and then of course working on your mirror research is going to be the biggest things to boost your PvP in terms of like immediate, here's how you get stronger. Now, don't forget, you still want to work on your strike team crews, which you can do in the Section 31 store. Excuse me for being in the wrong store. I'm just trying to make sure I get all these clicks and these faction credits in so I don't forget them. But if you go into the Section 31 store, scroll on down, here's your IST, your EST, your BST. Echeb, who we definitely recommend trying to max out because of that ability that we've talked about, that ISO cascade. Tuvok in the same boat, though I do put Echeb a little bit higher in terms of value. These also are good. And remember, becoming strong at PvP is a process. It's not something that you can do in a week or even a month. You have to be consistent and say, hey, I'm willing to take time to work on this. And you don't have to. Everybody listen to me. There's 300 plus of you absolute Star Trek nerds out there. You don't have to do this. But if you want to be good at PvP, it takes time and dedication. You will not be able to just be good at PvP by working for 2 weeks on doing something. It is a months-long process. And as Chris says, Arenas has a way of humbling you. You think you're strong in STFC? Go play Arenas and find out what strong looks like. Right now, if you're out there and you're level 69, I feel for you. You don't really count. PvPing in upper G6 and doing arenas in upper G6 is absolutely a wash. But for the other 99% of the game, PvP will show you what real strength looks like in terms of Glavin, quantum slipstream. You know, again, I talked about quantum slipstream. That is not a PvP item. That is an everything item because the abilities work everywhere. The shield strip ability, which is the main thing that people talk about being so great with the Glavin, that's not just a PvP thing. You can take that to Armadas. You can take that to hostiles. So it takes time to do all that and get all that. Got to work on it. You got to work on it. So can't do arenas yet, so incursions are your benchmark. That's completely fair. Soon, but you're getting there. You're getting there. Don't worry. Appreciate you being here. You've had the Glavin and Q-slip for a while, but only recently started making them stronger. The CEM, that's an easy thing to slip up on and kind of like fail on, because you get them and then, and I've said this about the quantum slipstream for a long time, the quantum slipstream is not great tier 1. It's not. That doesn't mean it's bad. In fact, it's the best in the game. But you get the quantum slipstream and you got it at tier 5, you're going to notice very, very little improvement to your gameplay. Why? Because you're getting a warp range boost, which, yeah, nice, and then a crit hit chance boost, and that's it. Completely worthless, essentially, to the average player. Get it up to tier 7, better, but only 11%. This is still going to take you, 7 or 8 rounds. Most fights not going that. Yeah. Then we get to tier 9. Now we're cooking with peanut oil. Now we're actually doing something here. Then you take it up to tier 11, which is the highest you can realistically get it. And in 4 rounds, they have no shields. So quantum slipstream starts off as completely worthless, which is the antithesis of the Metreon Cascade, which starts off great, and then you don't really need to take it out any higher. Quantum slipstream needs you to take the time to spend all those currencies to get it done. But once you get it done, you've got the strongest singular item in the game. The strongest singular item in the game. Does Rev cook with peanut oil? I've cooked with peanut oil. I've cooked with pecan oil, regular vegetable oil, olive oil. Yeah, several different things. And the reason you would do that has nothing to do with STFC, but different oils have different cooking and boiling temperatures, which can matter with things that you're cooking. So like I've used pecan oil as a sealant when grilling steak. Anyway, back to STFC because people aren't here for Rev Deuce Cooks. Laromi says, howdy Rev, I've been busy and missed some streams. Any word on new quality of life maybe coming next arc? We've had new quality of lives coming every arc, Laromi, so yes. Every arc this year has induced multiple quality of life updates, so yes. Yeah, exactly, Boba Fett, your smoke point. Let's not get distracted, though. Let's not get distracted. Rev's a fat guy from the South. I know a little bit about cooking. It's what we do. We season our food, we cook. It's what we do. All right. What y'all focus on level 24? Well, we're focusing on G5 right now, Zoro, but I would tell you this, just level 24, getting to level 25 and unlocking the Vidar is the biggest jump in terms of power and ability that you can do right at that level. So, all right. So, one last time, hey, Point T1, do you have any other questions? You asked specifically about PvP. Don't want to leave you hanging on anything else. Do you have anything else? In terms of loops you should be doing, well, obviously arenas and incursions because you want to do PvP. But also, you should be, sadly, you're not going to be able to do the G5s very well right now, but you should definitely be doing the G4 elites, maxing them. As in, you need to do those often because of what we just showed you in that tree. So that faction storm. You also want to be doing Crinums the same. Augment should be the same. Your goal, to me personally, before going into G6, you should be able to do, again, this is just my checklist. Here, I'll put the checklist on the screen. G6 checklist. Remember, are you ready for G6 Solar Armadas? Can you beat the G5 Elite Waves? But more importantly, the one I'll just bring up to you, can you defeat a level 62 Augment Exile at level 60? To me, that's a great measuring stick for going up into G6. This video dropped yesterday. If you haven't seen it, check it out. A G5 updated checklist will also be coming out quite soon. And if you're out there as a strong G5 player and would like to contribute, Tiberius, hit me up and we'll talk about what you should make sure that you do before going into G5. So yeah, if you're out there and you want to contribute to content, I'm always happy to have people contribute to content. Shout out to Tarbatu, Tiberius, and James Bond who helped with this. And also, I included some things from different folks because I think it's important. So we got JB's video right here about going after hazards. For those who don't know how hazards work, we've got the Revenant video from the man, the myth, the legend, Tiberius, who needs to put a thumbnail on this thing, but it's still a really good video. Check out that content if you haven't already. This is yesterday's video. So, waiting for an officer besides Wrath of Khan Scotty. Thank you for the advice. In terms of other things, another reason that, again, if you're wanting to do PvP, the good thing about PvP is if you become good at PvP, you're good at the rest of the game, guaranteed. Why do I say that? Because the things that make you amazing in PvP also make you amazing in the regular game. For example, Quantum Slipstream, Glavin, Wrath of Khan Joaquin, right? Wrath of Khan Joaquin is arguably the best max below deck officer in PvP right now. He's the hot stuff. He's the big meta. He also works for everything else. So, you can get him 100% free to play by grinding out your augment faction. All these things, valuable. All these things valuable. Next up, need another G5 player. Hit me up. What level are you? What do you need? We'll keep trying to hit. I'm trying to hit as many of these as I can today. Last week, I felt like we only got 3 or 4. So we're going to pick people. And then we're Red. You're doing fine, Red. And we just did a 60. You're doing fine, Red. We just did a 60. Let's do Mad Bones. We have not done a 51. Managed to get off 60. Congrats, Nick. Very nice. Congrats. Derp says, "Does Wrath of Khan Joaquin work versus Mata's entities?" Yes, because Wrath of Khan Joaquin is just a constant. He's an always on boost to ISO damage. He is not specific to hostile type. So if you have Wrath of Khan Joaquin, you'd go from 367 to 867, like that. So yes. So we're calling for Mad Bones, level 51. Shoot me a message on Discord. Shoot me your questions, and then also shoot me your player name so we can look it up and put it on the screen, and we can talk about where you're at for level 51. So you're fresh into G5, which, well, honestly to me is pretty exciting. G5 is a whole new world. I mean, it's exciting because you can start maxing out your Voyager, get those IA masteries done, start working on that Monavine. Yeah, it's good stuff. Sadly, you can't max out the Talios yet, but lots of good stuff at 51. So shoot me a message and we'll go over that. Let's see. Rev, what would work below deck with Explorer Strike Team on Tier 10 Enterprise D? What do you mean? Everything below decks that would work with IST, etc. There's not anything specific except for, you know, below deck officers that say, hey, you have to have morale. So, for example, just throwing officers out there. Works. He don't work. You'd have to apply a state to them. So like maybe if you assimilated and ran EST, you could do that. So if you ran the Borg crew and French Marshal Q, you could use that one. But again, that's getting a little complicated. Works. Come over to my main PvP. You know, works. Yeah, I mean, it's EST, IST, BST do not have specific below deck characters except for the ones that require a state, right? Except for the ones that require a state. So. All right, Mad Bones. Let's see. You've got a message. Awesome. Got you, Mad Bones. General improvement looking to do PvP. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, let's pull your account up. Level 51. Wanting to get into G5 PvP. Well, first thing I'm going to tell you is, well, let's take a look at your account. Try to see where you're at. You said 51, but I'm not seeing you on 51. Hold on. Reset. Level 51. All right. Hey, there's the Kinky Jesus. Hey, look at that guy. I know that guy. He's still number 1, by the way. I don't think he's in the chat. But shout out to Kinky. He's still number 1 at 51. I would have thought that man would have moved up by now. But I was apparently wrong. Boop. All right, let's do Mad Bones. Did I mistype that? Because that's not coming up with anything. Oh, it's because of the space. It was because of the space. All right, Mad Bones. You are 2,673 out of 3,309. So you just got there. Hold on. Why is that pulling up Captain Killy? Am I going crazy? There you go. Okay, cool. So, number 1, I'm just going to be completely forward with you. You're underpowered for a 51. Like, you're underpowered by a lot. But there's never a point in the game where we can't work back. So, going by this power, you don't have a G4 Epic. Correct me if I'm wrong. You don't have a G4 Epic. So, I would recommend backtracking and getting one of those. However, don't slow your pace down. Okay, since you want to do PvP, I'm going to give you a line of things I want you to start working on. But be mindful, that's going to take time. Yeah, that's going to take time because I wouldn't have told you to go to 51 when you're only 94 million power. That's very low for a 51. For reference, when I went to 51 on the level 60 account a year ago, I was 120. So that's a year ago. You calculate inflation and power creep, you're looking at that being higher than that. So 94 is a bit low. You're missing a lot of stuff. That's okay though. Because the good thing at 51, and Tibbs can speak to this, Tibbs has a free-to-play account in G5, is you're still going to get G4 stuff, right? And you can work on two things at once now, because we're going to get you in the G5 economy, and then we're going to get you a G5 uncommon. So I really want you, I know it's going to sound counterproductive, but here's what I would recommend. I would say get to 53, unlock an uncommon, get you a Nova. Those two things are your first focuses. And then if you've got a 46 rare, continue to work with that, whether it's a Pylum, Coronar, Newton. Keep that your main ship for now. What tier is that ship? I'm assuming the 46 is your main ship right now. And once I get an idea of where you're at, we're going to give you a list of things to work on to help push you in the direction of PvP. All right. He's like, Reb, takes his time to level up. Rico, I love you. Hey, King Jesus is here. Arena matchmaking has you staying at 51. Well, when you're top of the 51 leaderboard, crazy. Yeah, Mad Bones, shoot me the messages in Discord because there's just so many people here. I don't want to miss them. But let me know what your ships, your main ships right now are, and I'm going to give you recommends. I will say I'm with Tiberius, though. I would recommend getting a Tribune if you're wanting to be PvP heavy. Just keep in mind, do you then also want to get a Daradex down the line? So the good thing at 51/53 is you're simultaneously preparing for the future while still able to taking advantage of the past. It's a fun level to play at. It just can feel like an overwhelming level without direction. So yeah, I'm waiting on Mad Bones to send me that. I'm gonna grab a couple questions from the chat first, and then we'll keep going. Use the Vindicator and the Voyager a lot. Okay, making this hard on me. Do you have a level 46 ship? Do you have a 46? And I promise you, I'm not like shaming you in any way. I'm just trying to like, okay, I gotta adjust based on what I'm learning. Use the Vindicator and the Voyager a lot. Do you have a 46? And keep in mind that you specifically said you want to do PvP. And if you're wanting to do PvP, you're not doing the Voyager or the Vindicator. So, do you have a 46? And if you don't, that's fine. We can still work with it. But let me know what you got. G4 gives G5 parts though, so nothing from Augers. What do we? Y'all must be having a different conversation. I'm op 60 and building all three G4 epics. Enterprise A just finished scrapping. Congrats to Laura. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Absolutely fantastic. Be one of those days I might catch up with King Jesus, maybe. All right, Mad Bone says don't think so. Okay, here we go. Whew, okay, this is kind of throwing me for a loop. That's okay though. I love that you have a goal of what you want to reach. We can direct you. You don't have a 46 or a 50 and you're level 51. So here's what I'm going to recommend. I'm going to jump in here. Number one, what would you rather have? All right, you just sent me your ships. Thank you. So you got a Vindicator, a Revenant, an NSCA, an NX-01. Your strongest FKR, again, I'm just telling this for chat. This is not for shaming purposes, so y'all can understand why I recommend what I do. Your strongest FKR ship is your Enterprise at 19 million. Your level 34 Enterprise. So here's what I would do for you. One more question, and then I'm gonna start giving you recommendations, Mad Bones. What is your favorite level 60 ship? As in, do you want the Enterprise D because you love the Next Generation growing up? Do you want the Rotarn because the Klingons are the best thing that Star Trek ever made? Or do you want the Daradex because you have green blood and you might be a communist? What ship do you want at 60 the most? And that's going to recommend a couple of things that I'm about to say. You tell me which thing at 60 that just says like, man, I love Star Trek. I want to be that. Answer that for me. The fact that he's 90 mil power with those ships is actually not bad. Oh, I agree. This actually says his research is significantly better than I thought, because if his strongest ship is, not max specialty ships, that means he's done really good with research and buildings. It just means that he just said no on other ships. So he's actually in a much better position than I was thinking about initially. They say Enterprise D. So here's what I'm going to recommend you do. Enterprise D, couple of ways you can play this. I don't know where your efficiencies are at, but if you haven't checked it out already, check out my ISS Jelly scrapping video, right? Because the ISS Jelly you can dump 4-star Explorer materials into, and then you get more of it in return than what you spent. I know that sounds impossible, but that's how it works. I'll bring up the video real quick. Now, depending on how much G4 you have, you can just go straight to the Enterprise A. Maybe you don't have the blueprints. You did say you're on server 707, which is a new server. It's only been around 18-ish months. So maybe you don't have that. So for the sake of it, I'm gonna put both those videos for you on the screen. So the ISS Jelly farm video, you have 2 ISS Jellies? Hold on, let me look. I don't see it in any of the screenshots you provided. I don't see any ISS Jellies. I think you're confusing the baby jelly. So that's fine. Newer player here, and this is why we love talking to newer players. So ignore the really ugly ginger here. Yeah, those are baby jellies. We're talking about ISS jellies. So if you don't have it, I'm gonna pick a different spot. That's not a better spot, Rev. Like, oh my lanta. You know what? Just there. Don't want to look at the ugly ginger. I'm gonna send you these videos. If you can't get the ISS jelly quickly, don't worry about this one. That's fine. After this, here's what we want to do. I put out a video about how I made a maxed, it was actually a tier 11 Enterprise D for free. This is the route I want to put you on. I'm going to send you these resources just so you can see how it works. But what I would like to do for you is you're at 51. I want you to go to 53. But at the same time, I want you to get an Enterprise A. Now you can level this Enterprise A. We can use it for PvP. We can do fun things with the Enterprise A. But our main goal is we're going to use this Enterprise A to scrap at level 57 to give you a maxed, depending on your researches, Enterprise D. So you're going to go from, you know, baby stuff to a 2 billion power ship as soon as you hit 60. That's your long-term planning. Now let's talk to your short-term planning. Short-term planning, since we're giving you an Explorer with the Enterprise A and you're wanting to do PvP, now I'm going to give you an Interceptor. I want you to get the North Cut. Put this on the screen real quick. I want to get you the North Cut at level 53. Federation, the same. Now, you might go, Rev, where the heck am I going to get all these faction credits? I can help you with that as well. Faction credits need to come from your Voyager, which you say you use already. You need to be going into the Borg systems, summoning those cubes, getting the messages from them, turning those in every day, doing your away teams every day. There's also favors that increase the amount of messages you get or credits you get from messages. So that's 2 straight ones. That might be difficult. If you say, hey, I can't afford to do both right now in terms of faction credits, then you can get the Vorchop. However, I think getting the Enterprise A long-term and getting the North Cut short-term are both going to boost you quite a bit. I do want to point out that these take 2 completely different currencies. So don't worry about, oh, if I get the Enterprise A, I can't then afford the Enterprise or the North Cut in terms of resources. This takes G5 stuff. Enterprise A takes G4 stuff. They won't overlap except for things like Tritanium. You'll be A-okay. I'd recommend getting both. And then for that favor we're talking about, it is, let me grab it real quick, of what you want to try to get to. It is not there. It is section 31. Gosh, I always mix up where it's at. Nope. Is it DTI? I think it's DTI. Temporal investments. Nope, that's not that one, though that is a good one. Temporal signal boosting. Here we go. Increases credits from FKR messages refinement in the faction store. You see, I've got it maxed out right there at 50%. That increases how much you get. It's in the DTI faction. So if you can't tell, every G5 player I've said to today, Crenums is important. Every G5 player you've heard me talk to today, I tell them one of the main loops you need to do is Crenum. So can't tell, we're sticking with that idea. Now getting the Enterprise A and the North Cut will actually help you hit higher in Crenums because you have a lower tier relativity. Your relativity was one of your weaker specialty ships. Now, you can still use that, that's fine. I'm not saying don't use the relativity. I'm saying focus on stuff like this. Get those faction credit numbers up. That way we can improve you getting those 2 ships. Then we're gonna sit at 53 for a while and play catch up. But like somebody else in the chat said, for you to actually be close to 100 million power and your strongest ship is a 48 million Vindicator, you've actually done really good with research apparently. So a couple things I wanna get you on now. So I've given you the 2 ships I want you to focus on acquiring. Also want you to make sure you're working on doing artifacts with your alliance. If your alliance does not do formation armadas, tell them that Rev said if they don't do formation armadas, they're terrible. Shame them until they do better. And if they already doing them, then you've got a good alliance. Go do formation armadas with your alliance. Crenums as well. It's gonna be really big. You wanna be working on the GS 31, but the G4 Elite Solos. Now with your ships now, you're probably not able to beat them. But a goal that I want you to make is to be able to beat the G4 Elite Solos with an Enterprise A and a North Cut. You absolutely can, which will let you start farming the Section 31 currency. So number 1, I want you doing Crenum stuff. Number two, I want you to be doing the elite solo stuff. And even if you can't beat the G4 elites, I want you working on them now, getting used to that process. I'd say this, participate in PvP arenas, but you're not gonna be good in PvP arenas for a little bit as a fighter, but you can still be very good as a support role. In fact, I love level 51s in terms of in my arenas. Now, at level 60, I don't get those anymore. But when I was 56, I craved 51s in my arenas. Craved them, needed them, wanted them. Because you can be a great support player. You're gonna focus on using your Cerritos, your Mantis, your GS31 if you've done the PvP research, and speed crews to support arenas. Just don't go in there trying to power. Don't even worry about IST, BST, CST, mirror crews. Don't even go in where you're at right now at 51/53 trying to be the power player. Get really good at being a support player. And let me be honest with you. Everybody wants to be the DPS player, but every team in arena needs a great support role. And people watch me on Monday nights. When I do my arenas, most of the matches, I'm the support guy, right? The reason that we win so much in my streams is not because Rev is super secretly got some item that nobody else can have. Yes, I've worked for months to be really good at PvP, but the truth is you've got to be willing to be team player and use a lot of strategy. And sometimes that means support role. That means that you having a Cerritos is more important than you having a Rotaran. You having max fortification for your teammates is more important than you having an Enterprise D that's tier 12 with a time crystal and a quantum, well, a time crystal and a Unimatrix shielding. The support guy is arguably the most important player in arenas. So if you can start doing that now and get good at it, you are hands down amazing. Noon Whistle says Fred's the reason. But the truth is, Noon, you've been there, I've played for months without Fred, and my record has always been about a 70 to 80% win rate without Fred. With Fred, my win record's about a 95% win rate. But without Fred, I was still winning 80% of my public matches, as in randos like freaking Nick and Sugar Fat Man. I was still winning 80% of my matches. Support roles are underrated and needed for arenas. A good support will either win it or lose it, and you can be that, Mad Balls. I know we've spent a lot of time because we're talking about you catching up, but quick recap. Number one, get you an Enterprise A, work on the North Cut. If you feel the North Cut has too many faction credits for you, then get the Vorcha, the Klingon battleship. Work on your G4 Elite Solos, work on your Krenim loop, work on arenas on Monday night if you can do PvP arenas. And then there are a couple other loops that are still incredibly important. One more that I want to give you that you seem to already be doing, but just re-emphasize the importance of it, your Continuum Refinery. This is going to be huge for you to get this G5 stuff really jump-started and do it quickly. And would encourage you to not forget about the Mirror Universe with NSEA. Though you have a solid NSEA for your level, I do want to point out that an NSEA could actually be 500 million power where you're at right now, like if you really wanted it to be. So your NSEA has a lot of growing room as well, so don't forget about your mirror loop. So I know I just threw a lot at you, and I apologize for that, but you're in a unique position where you can do a lot in the next 3 months and be really, really strong really, really quickly. So anyway, appreciate you messaging me, and I hope that helped. I hope I didn't throw too much at you and you're like more confused than when you left. But gave you a couple of resources. Hopefully that helps. Working on the Enterprise A, we do them all the time. And I am with Fast With You. Yeah, Fast With You is fantastic. One of the strongest players in the game. For those that don't know, Faster Than You is up there with me in the border G6 range. And absolutely juggernaut of a player. So, like, scary good. Scary good. So, you're in good hands. Thanks for all the info. You've been a big help, and I don't mind that grind. Awesome to hear. So, yeah, I mean, you have... And I would also say that if you're playing with guys like Faster Than You, getting you to 53 is going to help you be in more of those PvP arena matches anyway. So, yeah, absolutely. Get you to Enterprise A, which is going to set you up for the Enterprise D in the future. Pick you up a PvP uncommon. You don't need all of them. Do those loops. And then once you've caught up, like, let's just give you a number. Once you got that Enterprise A to, tier 9, which, again, shouldn't be hard because now it's the only thing you're pumping G4 into. You got that uncommon, maybe tier 7. You're probably going to be ready for 56 because, again, like people were saying, keep doing the research that you're already doing because you seem to be really good with that. We just got to catch you up on ships. So, great job. Thank you for hitting me up, Mad. Sorry for taking so much time with your account. It's just a very interesting account. I love those. I love those accounts that are just begging for direction. Like, they're not bad players. They say, hey, pull me in a direction, I'm gonna fly. Keep at it. What is your base ISO at? Andrew, my base ISO right now is 244.5. Although it's about to go up a smidge because I'm gonna upgrade the war room. So that was good. I really like Matt. I really want you to keep up with me. Like those type of accounts, I really, really want you to keep up with me and let me know your progress. I really do. I'm interested in those type of accounts. No offense to like Shadow, but Shadow came in here like, hey, look at me. I'm Billy Bad. I can't say that word. I'm Billy Bad. Yo, we get it. You're good. They don't need as much direction, but these accounts are ones I get really excited about. So, at what level does your war room pay out 4-star stuff? Oh, it takes, well, one that's going to be your level, but here's my war room. You see 5-star. So your ops is going to contribute to that, but also as you level it up, it does get better. And this is what I currently get. And I need to see how close I am to actually going to 27. Oh, I'm actually about to go to 27. Fantastic. That'll give me a little bit more ISO. Not a lot, but give me like a 0.5% more ISO. And just as a recap real quick, remember, when you're going to upgrade things like the war room, don't spend all your stuff at once because leveling up the war room can result in better payouts depending on what level you're getting to. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick. Well, 8 hours. That's gonna jump me up a little bit more shields, but more importantly for me, another 0.5% ISO, which is that main thing I've been coveting and chasing. Need as much ISO as I can get because I do a lot of PvP. Though it obviously helps out in other ways. Now I can go back in there. I need 2,700. Very unlikely I'm about to get that with these next 3 pulls. We can see how much we're going to get though. Yeah, I'm not going to get it, so we'll just go ahead and do the rest of these pulls. That gave me another 0.5 ISO percent. So there we go. And more Seals of Catal, which I'll be honest, I don't even know how many people have actually done the Seal of Catal researches because it takes so long to get these. How many people have actually done these research nodes in the chat? Who out here in the chat has done that? Who all's done that? All right, let's back it back out. Good to go. Admiral Pegasus says nope. Doma's done the first tier. Yeah. Now to power up and catch up on our all research. Missing the last 2 years of playing set you back. Well, welcome back, Uniel. Welcome back. A spinner in my alliance bought 2 tiers. Woof. Woof. That is, I wonder if that's one of those ones where they have buyer's remorse. Right? I don't try to have that on a lot of things, but I wonder if that's one of the ones where they have buyer's remorse. Let's see. Try to bring up that page from Star Trek Fleet Command when they brought it out. So we just kind of show you all the things that come along with it. Let's see if they include it. There's the war room. And there's the buffs, but they didn't talk about the research tree when they released it. The Tactical Warmonger research node, they didn't really talk about it. They didn't really talk about the Tactical Warmonger. Anyway, we can pull it up. But that's in the combat tree. And let's see, get back into the game. Right here, combat tree. Now we just gotta find it. Tactical, right here. There's your 3 tiers. Goes to 3,000% bonus. Base weapons damage against players. As you can see, I am still 20 away from getting the first rung of it. Still 20 away from getting the first rung of it. So, but yeah, that's where it's at. It's that Tactical Warmonger's research. There hasn't been, would love to see a video about good mission hostile crews. Yep, made one 2 weeks ago. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Boom! Gold hostile bosses and cons challenges. Dos weekos agos. You don't pay attention? Shame on you. Absolute shame on you, Boopy of a Snoopy. Absolute shame. Also, ignore me running a speed crew on my low-level account. Don't pay attention to that. Am I wearing the same shirt? I'm not. Okay, never mind. It's all good. Rare think they'll let us bulk buy shields. I hate spending some time before incursions buying 4-hour shields. Why are you buying 4-hour shields? Why are you doing that? I mean, do I want that? 100%. Yes, absolutely. Why are you buying 4-hour shields? But yes, I've been requesting that for a long time. I, like you, hope that goes through. Oh, I gotta go do Zindies. Nobody told me it's Zindy Day. I mean, I should have known that, but I gotta go do Zindies. Oh, my Lanta. Oh, my Lanta. Oh, they're doing them right now, and I'm over here goofing off with you lug nuts. I'm goofing off with you lug nuts. You buy 4-hour shields? People are buying 4-hour shields for incursions? How do y'all not just have oobles and boobles of these saved up? I've got 1,200 of the daggum things. I don't even know what to do with them. I got 1,200 of them. Like, I'd have to sit here and spam them. Attack, drop bubble, rebo. I get that, but I don't know. I just feel like I have such a stockpile built up. I don't know. I'm weird. I'm weird. I'm weirdo. All right, we're gonna get over there. We're gonna run those armadas. Hey, if you're out there and you're the G5, G4 players, when I talk about things to do, I know there's a lot in this game, but these Zindies, now that you can use those factions we just looked at to get more of these directives, you need to be running these. Remember, I say this all the time, pull these chests every day, right? You want to pull your Armada chests every day that they're available, but you definitely want to be doing the Zindy ones now if you can. So, you've been playing daily for 6 years and they have playing for 6 months. Okay, but Tiberius, my low-level account has got a stockpile of 4 and 8 hour shields. It's just a few hundred, not, 1,200. So they run out quick during active raids. I guess my big thing is, and maybe this is where some of y'all are more OCD than me, when I do shield and incursion, like during those, I don't care what I'm activating. I'll activate a 12 hour. I'll activate a 1 hour that I still have loads of from back in the paying days when people could buy those packs and everybody in the alliance got a 1 hour shield. I think it's just probably because I'm willing to, I don't need to do a 4. I'll do an 8, a 12, a 1. I don't really care. That's probably what that is. Eric says, I'm level 53 and destroying the cubes and missile loop. Does not give me any Klingon messages. Does that cause my rep is too high? Doesn't seem random as I've killed like 10 of them already. I mean, it does randomly spawn what you're getting. You're not getting any Klingon messages because your rep shouldn't matter. Rep shouldn't matter. At least I'm not aware of that mattering in any way. So. Let's go here. All good. Are we there yet? Not there quite yet. You're probably also stockpiling them from not keeping shielded all day. I keep shielded all day. I just use, so in my normal gameplay, I do a 1 day shield. Now, the reason I don't have a shield right now is because I went OPC hunting. I don't know if y'all are aware, but Rev's a little bit of a pirate. Just a wee bit of a pirate. And I go OPC hunting. That's how I got my war room done so I could have it done in the video. Do you have any tips to being able to do elite solo waves without the GS31? Yeah, I did a whole video on it. What tips do you need? I mean, besides be strong and use the right crews. Can't your eviscerator rip to the 60? 9. Because I've not updated. Well, I actually did just upgrade the warp range a little bit. But yeah, I'm at 470. I need 1,000. Now, they could rip me if they wanted, but Eviscerator with, and I say this, and this is a great example of me making sure players understand that I say things, but I also do the things that I say. Oh, dang. They didn't wait for me. So when I say Rev will skip loops or slow some loops down because he's not going to do everything in the game, the Eviscerator is a good example. Like, my Eviscerator is behind a lot of other people's Eviscerators because in terms of priority, it's not a top priority. It's a priority. It's just not at the very top. So I'll get it done when I get it done. They can't rift you after G6? No, you can get rifted to a 60. Any G5 player can get rifted to a 60. You get stopped when you go into G6. 60 is not G6. 60 is G5. You tested yesterday? Well, I've literally ripped to 60s plenty of times, Kilroy. We've ripped to 60s on stream plenty of times. So I'm not sure the dang it, here I was talking to you, kitty cats, and I missed that Rares Indy. But yeah. So Kilroy is saying specifically, oh, this is a 62, but you're saying that you can't rip to Zelmas? You're saying you can't rip your guys to Zelmas? Okay, well, if you're talking about Torgoth, that's a 62, which is what we just said. That's the G6 system. But you can rip to any G5 system or systems you've explored. There's a little lack of consistency there, similar to how the hostile officers get written. Because, like, for example, a player can get out to, where's our Crenum space? You can get out to 63s and stuff as, you know, a G4. Thank you for stream. Unloading car, AFK. Okay. Well, you do that. You do that. Let's see if we get one of these that spawns. I need another one to spawn. Why are they letting the timer run? Use the speed ups. TMFL freaking keeping these things just sitting here. Use the speed ups, dang it. I'd really like to get this done. Anyway, other questions, comments that y'all have. All love and support appreciated. All love and support. Also need to give a big thank you. I appreciate it to Derek. Derek donated $25 to support me and the family. Thank you very much. I can't do what I do without folks like yourself. So thank you for donating to my channel, to my family. I very much appreciate it. Thank you. Not using Armada speed-ups really grind your gears, especially for something like this. Like, DMFL is a high-level alliance. You got them. Why are we sitting here on 8-minute timers? Like, let's go, people. Let's go. How is 710 prep going for incursions? I did move my base, so I prepped. My base has been moved. What do you spend the event store after you get everything you want? Whatever else you want. So whatever else you want. Oh boy, the timer's here, buddy. See if I can do a little bit of that. Nope. See if we can hit a hostile and force a respawn. Little tricks that you can sometimes make things happen. See if we can hit a hostile and force a spawn. Nope. Oh, I need to also put one in the previous system. Because I need to do uncommons as well. I need to get both of those done. Son of a biscuit eater. All right. Well, okay. Mylanta. Yep. There it is. What's the server culture like for 710? I mean, it's not toxic if that's what you're asking. It's not toxic. Thanks for the new hostile trick. It's helped me spawn a few armadas. Happy to hear, James. Yeah, I mean, it's a neat trick. It's apparently just worked great for Epic. But, yeah. I was gonna say, is that one not going to spin? But I'll go try to launch a uncommon while we wait for the rares. I might just have to wait till... Because once we get around lunchtime here in the U.S., everybody's hopping on to do things real quick. So I might have to wait a little bit. Where's my ship? Let's hit this real quick. Every time you say bought, I giggle. You say both. What are you talking about, Brandon? What are you talking about? Any other comments, questions, ladies and gentlemen? Don't slow it down now. We've only got like 15 minutes. You better get them in. We don't spend all day on YouTube like we do on Twitch, which if you're not already checking out the Twitch channel, you should. Twitch.tv/RevDeuce. We got some War Thunder tonight and some STFC. Little Thunder Buddies. I'm actually rocking the Thunder Buddy merch right now. Both? Yeah, both is both. Is it worth keeping the 4-star faction miners? Meh. I mean, the only real reasons for getting any miner into the game today below G6 is for the warp range. And then in G6, you want them because you want to get hazard resistance. So, but hey, hazards are something most people don't have to deal with yet. But maybe a day cometh where you will have to deal with hazards, and they're so much fun. They're so much fun. Yeah, fantastic. Let's see. I just don't want to miss another spawn. I just feel like if I take my eyes off of it again, I'm going to miss another spawn. Like I did last time. The G4 miners are good for TC ISO mining. I mean, sure, I just use my meridians for that. Well, really, I get most of OPC hunting, if we're being honest, but I just use my meridians. But you can't max out your meridians till you get upper anyway. You get it at 25, and it's pretty much an open target for 20 levels. 15 levels. When you start getting Zindi Armadas, this is a G4 loop responsibility. This is a G4 loop. I just launched another uncommon. Gosh, I wanted to go look at the uncommon so bad. Because Kip launched one. But as soon as I leave this spot, there's going to be a spawn. And I've already hurt my poor Enterprise D just hitting these random hostiles. You don't get them as level 40? Have you been doing the pulls and everything? Are you progressed in your loops? Son of a biscuit. Well, at least we got it. At least we got it. Let's see if another spawns. Try to grab it. Where do you get the G6 solo armadas? Is there a cap on how many you can collect? So G6 solo armadas, in terms of, are you asking where they're at? Because actually, if Tibbs is still here, I actually included his G6 solo armada video in the G6 checklist I just made. They start off in the 62s of the faction systems. So, let's see. Now for Eddie, in terms of your pulls, I guess I'll jump into factions real quick. So we'll hop over here. Borg is where you get the directives for the uncommons right here. And for the rares, the best way to get the rares is in the DTI. Sorry, no, not the DTI, the Sex 31 right here. Rares Indy Armada pulls. Best place to get the rares. So Borg and then, hold on. Son of a, okay. Well, great. I'm really slow with my clicks today. Anyway, those are the two places to get them. I'm early on the Bajor loop. Should I focus on maxing the Bajor rep favor? Yeah. As far as the rep or the Bajor favors go, not as valuable as they once were, but yeah, getting the rep done is really useful for early start. And then anything that has like this, the profit stuff are very good in terms of like which ones to focus on first, like the gift and the refineries, stuff like that. Yeah, going after rep first is smart. I need to pull that directive exchange though. Thank you for reminding me to come look in here. Is any of mine a G5 thing, not G4? I thought they were G4, didn't we? Are you sure? You could be right. I could be wrong on that. I need to go double check my stuff. I thought that was a G4 start. If it's G5, I apologize. They are a G5? Well, then that's Rev making a mistake. It happens, and I apologize. It's a G5 thing. My slip up. My slip up. Oh, so that's what it is. See, you get trickles of directives at 48. So that's probably what I was remembering. You can start pulling, you can start getting some of the directives early, you just can't use them. Which, that's definitely a good scopeling. Start getting the directives, you just can't use them. All right. Go ahead and launch this just because, heck, I need them. I heckin' need them. Are Chronomes still needed after you get the ship in G6? Yes. 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 You definitely still continue to run Chronomes. Finish maxing out all those artifacts you haven't done, as well as the other things that you can get from that faction. So. All right, let's see. I'll watch the video, but where do you get the credits? For what, Brandon? Borg Event Store any good? Borg Event Store is mostly good for lower levels. So you can get like Borg Q shards, catch up on that. I would say that that store is mostly for lowers. I'm not saying it's bad, but I really don't come in here anymore. I guess I could. I've apparently got some currency laying around I haven't used. So working on maxing out Borg Q is nice. And I can do 10 Borg Q shards right now. But truthfully, this is a lower level mechanic, a lower level catch-up mechanic, similar to the augment one that we get on Thursdays to help players, you know, catch up on this. But I mean, it is good. It just isn't good later on, which is fine. And I really try to stress to people, hey, you don't need to do all the events. Some things are there for other folks. Okay, that's got to be a goof. I'm hoping that's a goof. I'm hoping that's a goof. Or to max tier epics for those 10. Yeah, but even then, Tony, I'll be honest, I'm not going to go do the work for that. Now, this does come back to how you prioritize your time. Do I like that I have 10 that I go pull right now? Yes. Am I going to go do those events just so I can work on 1 or 2 more shards? I'm not. Now, if I was working on unlocking that, yes, that's absolutely worth it. But in terms of how I spend my time, that personally to me doesn't have much value. But that might not be the case for everybody else. King, I've already given plenty of those, so no. I've given plenty. I've given plenty. If anything, I've basically spelled it out several times. So, no more. I've already basically spelled it out many times. Especially from my Discord, I've literally spelled it out. All right. Let's get these armadas going. See if I got a full group. I'll speed this. I do not have a full group. I've got 3 people. You need those prime valor particles for Discovery Warp? And see, I don't use the Discovery. I just don't. I get that those are there, and I'm not saying they're bad. I just don't use the disco. So. Let's see. Had to respond to somebody who shot me a message. My apologies. If you get rank 1 in all the Mega Cube SLBs and do all the events, you get around 15 epic shards. Not worth it. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Again, if you have the time and you don't mind that grind, that's completely fine. But me personally, that's not worth the effort. That's not worth the effort personally. Doesn't make it a bad choice. It's just not one for me. I'm going to grab one benefit of having all these ships. I can send them to multiple places. It's nice to have a lot of warp range. Let me go grab, let's grab anything, honestly. This will work fine. Grab that, turn this into the Daredex. Send this out for that armada. Like I say, I better have the warp range. There we go. You follow the Scooby-Doo clues? Exactly. Max Disco is good for speed ups, but that's about it. But see, I have the Disco maxed. I have the Disco maxed. I just don't have a need for summoning with it. So. Just don't have a need for summoning with it. Maxing that Disco Warp Range Prime makes Disco useful in early G6. But again, is that going to be useful for me as somebody who, as soon as he goes into G6, is going to have like Warp Range 1200? No. But is it solid? Sure. So it's not priority. Like, I don't think it's something somebody should focus on. I don't think it's a requirement to go into G6, but it's nice to have. nice. I'd call it maybe a stretch goal. Maybe a stretch goal. The grind for Enterprise A takes forever. Just use Latinum and faction credits. Latinum and faction credits. Any upper G4 should be getting between 50 and 100,000 Latinum a day. And assuming they're doing all their message pulls and their away teams, 10,000 plus faction credits a day. So, have you done a video talking about integrating players back in the game after they've already been away 1 to 3 years? Nope, I've not. I've not. Yeah, Disco Warp Range Prime is free to play. Yeah, it is. Still, even though free to play, it's not really valuable to me. That doesn't make it bad. I just don't need it. I just don't need it. With Scope, we just put all the primes in a single tree. I wish they'd put a lot of things in a single area, like officers, special ship acquisition, primes. Be nice. Be nice. You went Disco Warp Range over crit damage, and see, as a PvP player, I went crit damage. So, we'll say to counter your view Disco, having Warp Range 1200 is good. It's the travel times. Travel times aren't that bad if you've done your research, even in G6. Keep in mind that you're talking to somebody who already has played in G6. It's not that terrible. You can always relocate, or again, it's about the pace that you want to play as well. So it's kind of like super highways. When super highways first came out, they were a must-have. Now super highways are an afterthought. Same thing with G6 warp times. When they first came out, they were terrible, just as the G5 ones were. And now they're kind of an afterthought. I mean, yeah, more is more, but do you need it? Is it something that you should get before going into G6? No, I don't think it is. It's not a requirement. Nice to have, sure, but not a need. Not a need. Biggest move for the Disco summoning is when you can summon it to higher systems with the Eviscerator, and then it's an easy resummon. Now, I do use it for that. For example, the Crenum formations and stuff that we'll do. I will do it for that. So, you're a new 61, and my longest warp is like 6 minutes, 65 space when I'm doing the solos. Noted. And that same time, if that's your longest, same time used to be 15 plus when it first came out. And that's just, again, power creep works this way. We complain about power creep, in my opinion. It's good to complain about it, but a lot of good things come from power creep as well. No, Jazz, we're not going to do any more till next week because we're 2.5 minutes from our wrap up. Do you think using LAT for ship VPs is an efficient use? I think it depends. If you're in G6, it's not efficient at all. If you're in G4, yeah, because there's not many things that you have that are worth spending Latinum on in G4. Because the game gives the economy so much. Really, only 2 things that I think Latinum, for any of the G4 accounts I've played recently, are big on. And that's ship XP and blueprints. That doesn't mean that other things aren't valuable, just if we're talking about highest value stuff. I just think the economy continues to improve, thus what we need adjust accordingly. Here, I can get to this one now, thankfully. As soon as I see one launch. I won't be able to do it, actually, because I've got an uncommon launch. I'll speed up this uncommon as soon as people get here. Should I take my free-to-play up to 60 or leave it at 56 because it's so much quicker to get events done? You are right that it's a lot quicker to get events done, Tibbs, because going to 60, you can't just spam that one freebooter anymore. Personally, though, Tibbs, I would say go to 60. If we're just being honest, I would say go to 60. But you've already done that process. Maybe you wouldn't enjoy that as much. Dang it, there's one right there. But I don't have multi-armada prime start because Rev's not a whale. Son of a biscuit eater. Let's go, but no, the officer shares not showing correctly in a bunch of places. Yes. The key is, though, that they are working correctly. But you are right, there is a visual problem. There is a visual issue. They do work correctly. They do not visually show correctly. Speed that up. And let me guess. Launched. Yep. Oh, there's another one. And I just got to wait 20 seconds. The SMS sucks, but go to 62. Sarah ships 63. Tony's talking about something else. What level would you suggest taking the Nova to? Whatever warp range you need. Simple as that. The only real benefit is warp range. So whatever warp range you're trying to get to, that's where you take the Nova. So in terms of like upgrading miners, I think that upgrading miners is useful for your weekend spend SLBs. Other than that, not super useful. And I mean, besides the warp range, like the mining laser is what I'm saying. You don't need to like focus on, oh, I've got to have this mining laser upgrade. No, you don't. It's fine. Nice to have though. Like, don't avoid it. Just, you don't need to worry about getting it to a certain tier to be effective. A Nova's good out of the box. You might want more warp range at some point, and that's something that you can decide for yourself. And let's see. There's another one right there if somebody wants to launch it. Let's see if I can actually do an Armada pull. I can. Yay. More uncommons, and I didn't catch if I got any artifact shards. I guess I can go look real quick. They'll show the shards that transport patterns for max offs in some cases. Do we still get the patterns? You are getting the patterns for the new officer efficiency. Yes, we've tested it. I've not made a video on it yet, but we have tested it. You are getting the patterns. And you can track those manually with Spox.club if you want to. The Spox Club is the only way, I'm pretty sure, to see your exact amount of transporter patterns. But we have tracked it. You are getting TPs. It is working correctly, but it is visually foobar. And who would expect any different from Star Trek Fleet Command? Who would expect any different? All right, ladies and gentlemen, look, if you have more questions, hit me up on Discord. I'm available for anybody to message on Discord, Facebook, Reddit, X. I'm available in all the places. If you want to contact me directly, the quickest way and best way, and you can support the channel, is on my website, revdeuce.com. Yes, I'm plugging myself. Yes, I'm a content creator, which means I rely on you to keep doing what I'm doing to feed my children, and I thank you for it. It means a lot. So if you're out there and you'd like to support the channel, think about it. We also are looking for people to help sponsor Battle Pass giveaways for next week. We're giving away Battle Passes. If you want to be part of that process, if you want to help with that, please, please, please check that out on our website, revdeuce.com, or shoot me a message if you have questions. That's how we do it. So appreciate y'all. Just because Scopely doesn't support us anymore doesn't mean we can't give back to the community. And if you want to be part of that process, hit me up. I would love to talk to you. Live long and plunder. Stay safe with those Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next stream, which is in 3 hours over on Twitch. Check you there. I'm out.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.